people. Like that
Well,
was.
I always refer to it this. We went through a 2.5 year COVID 1984 phase where reality, in my opinion, reflected what the Bilderberg Group talked about in their 2018 meeting, and that is the quote unquote post-truth world.
Yeah.
And I think that we are still suffering through that world at an exponential level. I mean, think about this. This is a CNBC piece from 2018. The last time that they meet is 2019. C-SPAN actually covers it to the point where they follow Pompeo on a boat, okay, to a boat where he's going to give a speech in a castle. Here he is right here at Bilderberg in Switzerland, 2019. And this year, I couldn't find a date. I couldn't find a location. They didn't put it on the website till the day of. There was not one media outlet that covered it other than The Guardian and Charlie Skelton in the mainstream. Internationally, you didn't see it anywhere. And there have been times we've had thousands of people out there, and it was in the belly of the beast. Yeah. Now, had I found out about that, and I was asking at these Reawaken America tours, and there's some pretty good insiders there. I ran into Jamie Deluxe. He lived down there. He does great work with high-level pedophile networks in politics, entertainment, and beyond, and in the tech industry. He's done some great videos there. We're talking to everybody. Nobody knew. I was talking to people behind the scenes. Nobody knew. I was the first person to find out about 3 minutes before one of my broadcasts on Thursday, because somebody had picked it up that the day of, it was on the itinerary from on the EU's official website for one of the attendees that was a prime minister. Okay. And so I couldn't believe it. And then as soon as I did that, I started texting, Rob Dew, Luke Radowski, Gary Franchi of Next News Network, Truth Stream Media, you name it. Luke did end up getting down there. The word spread. Props to Max Blumenthal for covering it. The really sad thing is my girlfriend lives outside of DC, right? Again, she's a reporter for the Gateway Pundit, and I'd flown her out here to Iowa. Had we known about this, obviously, I would have been down there visiting her, and I would have been covering it. And again, I think we could have got thousands of people in the middle of DC outside of a hotel. And that's one of the reasons.
That's why they don't announce it.
They didn't announce it this year, because it wasn't at the Chantilly location, which we have had a lot of people out before. I do believe Alex Jones, obviously, would have amplified it had he known, because he's been talking a lot more Davos and Bilderberg again, which I think is positive, right? And I think a lot of people have awoken to this great reset agenda. But at the same time, think about this. All these conservative outlets and alternative outlets that have told you about this in Davos, we had the CEO of Pfizer there. We had the head of NATO there. Okay. We had more AI representatives, that's artificial intelligence representatives, than ever before, including the Facebook representative. Okay. We had China, Russia, and the Ukraine on the list. You had the prime minister of Finland there openly meeting with the head of NATO. Like, no one's reporting on it. Have you seen this, guys? That literally Jens Stoltenberg himself did more reporting on Bilderberg. That's supposed to be like this golf club meeting, right? It's informal. Except for Jens Stoltenberg with his blue check mark. Here he is saying that he's discussing membership applications of Finland and Sweden with this prime minister. You're telling me this isn't an official capacity? Of course it's in an official capacity.
Yes.
Alex Karp of Palantir, the day before he goes to Bilderberg, he's shaking hands with Zelensky and cutting military-industrial complex contracts, again, on his own Twitter page. This is being acknowledged by the media. Palantir and, Peter Thiel have a long history together.
If only we could get them all into one place and then ask them a bunch of questions.
That's never going to happen.
I mean, questions at this point, these people have a license to lie and be deceptive. And again, it's the inversion of reality. Think about that gaslighting. They tell them that they can use the information. They're not there in official capacity, and it's Chatham House rules, but they are setting policy. Okay. They are making connections. They are, in many cases, violating national treaties, because people in this country are supposed to have our best interests at heart. And there's a reason they're not allowed to collude behind closed doors with powers in industry, in places like the Carnegie Endowment and the Hudson Institute, which are these think tanks that war game these things constantly, with heads of finances in things like Goldman Sachs and beyond. They're also highly representative. And then on the list, you have continuity of government and the economy. Continuity of government is a code term for the shadow government. Okay. And the shadow government has obviously been super empowered over the last 20 plus years post 9/11. Under that, disruption of the global financial system, disinformation, energy security, and sustainability. Sustainability means your quality of life is hitting the shitter, folks. That's all that means. All right. They're not worried about the earth. They're not worried about carbon emissions or pollutants. In fact, have you guys seen the clip going around of the electric car and the city representative yet?
No.
We'll get there in a moment. So, post-pandemic health, fragmentation of democratic societies. This is what they're talking about. Okay, fragmentation of democratic societies, continuity of government and the economy, disruption of the global financial system. I mean, these are the questions that I would have asked. These are the topics on the table. None of this sounds good for us. Now, when we talk sustainability, and guys, I don't want the earth to be a bad place, but we never talk about the real pollutants, the chemicals, when we drop bombs everywhere of varying degrees. Forget about depleted uranium. That's old technology. Lord knows what we're doing out there. Completely unaccountable. We never talk about the genetically modified organisms, not only in our food, but that we're releasing into nature as we speak. Real things. Okay, it's always, let's demonize carbon emissions because carbon is a life force on Earth, and it's a great way to micromanage the planet and integrate this new stakeholder capitalism, blockchain social credit score economy that they want so much. Okay, hear this woman. I mean, it's just the funniest thing, man. We'll let you watch it. So here we are. We're at this grand opening for this car right here. It's an electric car, everybody. We love electric cars.
I'm grateful to be here today, and in fact, this is a chance for me to say thank you more formally. The Chevy Bolt is upstairs. We'll be able to take a look at it.
You got about 1,000 photos.
Yeah. Is it plug?
It's as simple as that.
The batteries are in the trunk?
No, the battery in this particular design is a T-shape right down the center and across the back seat area.
So General Motors, okay?
Because everybody thought we killed the electric vehicle. No, we didn't. It's alive and well.
So what's charging the batteries right now? What's the source of
Well, here, it's coming from the building.
I mean, is it what's their mix of power?
Oh, actually, Lansing feeds the building.
What's that?
Lansing feeds power to the building. So I don't know. They're a bit of coal. Well, they're heavy on natural gas, aren't they?
Let me just stop that.
Oh my God.
It gets better, all right? A little bit. She can't even get the word coal out of her mouth, right? She says coal. They're heavy on natural gas. Fast forward. Hold on. Now, this is the General Motors GM. It gets better. Okay, so now let's get to the Lansing individual and find out where the power really comes from.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
Right now the car is charging off of your grid.
Right. It would be charging off our grid, which is about 95% coal.
I'm really grateful.
So it's 95% coal. See, this is what I'm talking about, people. All right, listen, coal ain't perfect, but it's a reality.
Right.
What's not a reality are the systems they want to put you on sustainability. I'm all for renewables. I think solar hasn't been tapped into in the manner that it should. I think in a lot of ways, they've repressed some of these technologies that would empower us further to keep doing these things as you see a controlled demolition of not only our economy, but our power structure in the sense of our grids and our culture. Like that's it. I mean, it's they're really knocking it out of the park. We were talking about just civil liberties, but culture really, they want to just completely gaslight us on our culture. And that's why these new fact checks have literally oozed into every orifice of society. I played this on my show today, but have you seen not only that the World Economic Forum has partnered with Facebook for the metaverse? They had 2 panels on it on Davos, but there is now a commercial running, okay, where Facebook has a army of over 40,000 strong, larger than the FBI, to keep you safe. You've not seen this?
No.
No.
So let's find her. Let's do it live.
Oh.
Actually, I probably, without even bringing it up, we'll just do it. So just so everybody understands, and you can watch this at length in my program today. Jan LeCun, he was the head of AI, is the head of AI over at Facebook. He was at Bilderberg this year. Okay, he was their AI tech luminary. And Davos had 2 different forums, Shaping a Shared Future, Making the Metaverse in Davos on this subject. And then the other one, the possibilities of the metaverse at Davos. And the World Economic Forum has an official page, metaverse governance and generating economic and societal value, again, culture and economy. They have a full-on World Economic Forum push for defining and building this thing. All right, and now, I guess since it's taken a while to find over there, let me see if I can just type in Facebook. We'll bring it. We'll do it live. Here it is, right?
That's a cute cat. Is that your cat?
It's not my
Facebook
cat.
is taking action to keep its platform safe. Over 40,000 people are working on safety and security. That's more than the size of the FBI. $16 billion was spent in the last 6 years. Enough to build 7 pro stadiums. More than 40 million people are using Facebook Privacy Checkup each month. That's nearly 60 times the population of Washington, D.C. And they're doing all of this to keep people on the platform safe.
So basically, they're selling you on this idea that they're keeping your privacy safe, but it's really a network, which is the Ministry of Truth and algorithmic control, working hand in hand with the military industrial complex, and in particular, the World Economic Forum as a very real arm of this Great Reset agenda. So, I'm going to be probably doing watch-alongs with the Davos stuff. But if you have any doubt that this is all about transhumanism at the end, Davos 2020, when humans become cyborgs. Again, another presentation where they're openly talking about this stuff. And it's not only an open secret, but if you've been watching and paying attention, it's really just whispered history. I hate the term conspiracy theory because it's documented. Their luminaries have spoken about it. They brag about it. Every time I feel like I'm being gaslit, it's more and more on just about every facet of our lives, guys. I'm sure you're feeling it too.